welcome to Dudes and Dominoes. We back. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. All right, man. Welcome to Dudes and Dominoes, man. I'm glad everybody can join us because we here enjoying ourselves in the man cave, just having a good time. Who won that last game, man?
Bob won.
Bob won the last game. Yeah, we down here enjoying ourselves, having a good time. But real quick, man, let me give y'all the players. Y'all know the players in the building. Shooby-Doo, where you at?
I'm right here, baby.
And you don't stop. And you don't stop. There we my man Shooby-Doo. Do that one more time, Shoot.
Yeah, baby.
Tony Goodtime.
Tony Goodtime, a.k.a. And then y'all know him, Mr. Passionate. Talk to him.
Talk to us, baby. Let's have a good time. Let's get this out.
That's right.
We're going to touch somebody today.
That's what's up. Slick Rick, what's up, brother?
What it is, man.
What it is, what it do.
Want everybody to know we take both these in the same day. So if we see me with the same clothes on, y'all don't think that this boy wear the same outfit every time you see him. But go ahead.
Put that out there.
Hey, man, they would have forgot by the time it came out. Fargo, when you over there on your phone, man, what you on, bro?
All right. Let's do it, baby. Get in here.
His brother messing up the production. We're going to let it go. We're going to let it go. Hey, but Dudes and Dominoes, we here, man. Enjoy it. Y'all already know Bobby Mack is. Hold on, Bob. You wouldn't even let me, man. Matter of fact, forget it. Give it up for Hollywood Bobby G.
Yes, sir.
I'm the only one that changed my outfit for this day.
Hey, Bob just put his glasses on and everything.
I changed what the news say.
That's what's up, hey man. But look, this is a very important subject that we're about to talk about, man. One of the things that all of us not all of us have children that's in the man cave, but I still have a high schooler. So she's going into her senior year, and then we got those that got freshmen that's in college, is going to college this year, and this is graduating season, and we just got young people that's growing up. And so what we want to talk about today is this society, masculine versus feminine society, and all of the things that our children are dealing with. That's a heavy thing, man. Y'all ready for this? Dudes, y'all ready for this? All right, before we get started, man, we just want to give God some praise because this is such a sensitive topic. I just want to make a declaration of prayer that God will be over this because our children need our help in Jesus' name. Come on, give God some praise, y'all.
Absolutely.
All right, so first and foremost, we got Shooby-Doo. You up. Talk to me, man. When you look at what our children are going through in this society, what do you think about the masculine versus feminine movements that we're seeing in society, and where would you go with that?
First, I would say that love has to be at the tip of any kind of instruction.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be, but it's two different loves. One is hard love, and then there's feminine love. But I'll say as it relates to boys, at least, boys need hard love quite a bit more so than girls. That's what I would say. Feminine love for boys, yeah, they need it, but it's not really what's going to make them produce. Because you got to, number one, you got to understand that who you are and where you are. The world, the people, the powers that be is not for us.
All right.
That's where it stops.
And that's where the hard love comes in. So you can be ready. You can understand that it's not going to be anything feminine about how, you make progress and become a productive black man. Because you are, we are the enemy.
So you got a young son, right? Malcolm, my man. Give it up for Malcolm, y'all.
Yes, sir.
That's a young king right there. That's a young king right there. How do you navigate, man? What do you say to Malcolm? What does that look like? The way that you discuss what's going on, or do you see the issues, or what issues does he deal with that you don't mind sharing that in how you handle those things as far as the society and how they're building them up and the things he's dealing with?
I would say iron sharpens iron.
Mm.
That's the number one. There's no way around that. Iron sharpens iron. But by today's standards and by today's young person, we got to make adjustments. You know, the old school father who, you know, dealt with things a certain way and increased the kids' productivity, you gotta navigate into kind of this new world, this new child to get a better understanding, you know, to make them productive. And it's not feminine, you know, it's still hard love, but we have to adjust ourselves for the most part to get our point across for their productivity. Be less off the charts. I know we dealt with a lot of older brothers who's kind of like off the charts.
Yeah.
And it worked for me.
Yeah.
My father, my neighbors, but that kind of don't necessarily work in today's kids. They're a lot more.
They got a lot more outside
Right.
influences.
But let me touch on it. I think being a parent these days, you got a lot to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
You got that social media,
Mm-hmm.
and you know when we was coming up, we didn't have no cell phones in grammar school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we dealing with that social media, and then right, so it's huge influence, and these kids are being exposed to stuff that they don't have no business being exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And society is willing to allow us to accept certain things that's not biblical. Let's put it that way.
It's on purpose.
And it's hard. It's when you, as a parent, and even raising a boy or girl or whatever, you compete with a lot now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You compete with a lot. So and if you don't have the right influence within your child, they'll be out there doing things that you would never expect them to do because they're looking at their social media.
Yeah.
We'll have a state of mind that we.
So you have my thing is, I mean, we pray for our kids. I mean, and we want them to take our values, but it's just hard to do it when you compete with when they see other kids getting away and doing certain things. So it's hard. Yeah.
So when you say that it's hard from a standpoint we competing with social media, what do you mean? What are we actually competing with? What is the
Exposure that's out there on social media. When they say it's okay for a young man to have a boyfriend, that's what you compete. Or you telling your daughter it's okay to have a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? That's the social media. That's what I'm talking about. The exposure. The kids think they might be ready for it. They're not ready.
So that's a big thing. That's huge. That's a big topic. So when we start talking about masculine society and feministic societies, and where does that come from? Like it's big. So us coming up, we're dealing with a whole nother level of same-sex relationships, right? It's a whole nother level. Where does that come from? What are we seeing? What are we looking at?
We looking at society is trying to make it acceptable. Make it seem fair. It's okay.
This is an attack on the spirit.
It's not even making it like it's okay. They trying to push the agenda on. You know, when we first started watching Empire, you know, I started watching Empire, and two of my favorite actors on there, I like Terrence Howard, I like Taraji P. Henson. So I'm into it. I'm digging it. Slowly, it started gravitating toward Jussie Smollett and his relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what they was pushing on.
Mm-hmm.
They got away from these two great black actors, and every week you can see Jussie Smollett getting bent over on the desk somewhere. And that's what they're trying to push out there on us. You know, and it's also, like I say, man, whatever floats your boat. I care less, man. You know, but it's a media driven and it's a judicial agenda to emasculate black men.
Ooh.
One by killing us,
Mm.
one by arresting us,
Come on.
and then one by force feeding the agenda through the media and through social media, through any outlet that you want to, even on just regular TV,
I like that.
even on the commercial. I watch commercial, man. You know, any one of the HIV commercials you might see.
Yeah.
In the commercial, you got a couple of guys sitting there tongue kissing each other.
Now, everything he said is all about control.
Yeah.
See, whether they controlling the black man because they want to keep power struggle. So you got some dark forces that rule this earth. Those dark forces that rule this earth are in control of the books you read, believe it or not. They're in control of the stuff you hear on the music. They're in control of the stuff you see on TV. They're in control of the prison systems being built. It's two different levels. But it's all about control, and it's all about control from the rulers of darkness that control this earth. The earth is the devil's playground, and all of this other systemic stuff that you see, whether it's the pushing of the effeminization of the black man, it's all done on purpose. The stuff you see on TV, that how they steadily add more and more homosexual stuff, it's all about reducing God and us believing in God and us believing in some morals and something higher and riding with Satan, the rulers of the dark.
Yeah.
It's systematic and it's working to perfection, but we know who wins in the end.
So go ahead.
And society want to make it look like you're frowned upon because you don't enjoy watching two men have sex with each other.
Right.
They act like you
No,
should be
I'm
frowned. You should be frowned upon. You are viewed as a
Say,
closed-minded a person who's against the LGBTQ community. They try to make it look like, look, man. Back in the day, I used to watch porn. About a week ago, actually. But that's a different story. Now, my preference has nothing to do with two guys having sex with each other. That's not what I like to watch.
Right.
So, am I a bad person or am I against a group of people because my preference of what I like to watch is what I like?
Right.
You know, I don't not nobody's, opinion of what they want to watch or who they want to have sex with. I can't control that.
Right.
But, but don't make me look like a bad person because I don't buy into your agenda.
So now we identifying a lot of the issues that we see, right? So we're identifying a lot of issues that we're seeing. What are some of the things now when we start talking about having our kids? Do we see, well, before I even get into that, do we see a correlation of, because mental health has been it's a big push on mental health. Do you guys think that there's a correlation between the mental health and the feministic movements that we're seeing in our media outlets today?
Absolutely.
Anybody?
In more ways than one, but since you mentioned mental health, I just want to touch on back in the day, homosexuality was classified as a psychological disorder. They changed that. Homosexuality is no longer classified as a psychological disorder. That's systemic. You know what I mean? That is systemic. It is a psychological disorder. If God gave you a penis, you know what I mean? First, it goes against nature. And God gave us the spirit and the desire for sex to reproduce so we can be fruitful and multiply.
Mm-hmm.
Some people took that and used it for everything. It's been going on for a long time. But it was a certain thing about it that I wanted to touch on, how society just taking it.
Don't worry about it. Before I go ahead. You was about to say something.
Yeah.
Like everybody says society. I think the media outlets, TikTok, Facebook, everything that's allowing our kids to be focused on these algorithms that's coming through these networks and stuff like that, and just destroying their minds of what God wanted us to believe, to have. It's destroying us, and the man is out here is just taking that away from us.
All right.
I know I'm all over the place with that, but
you lost me an algorithm. You lost me an algorithm.
Because it's the thing.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what feeds.
No, I'm just kidding. So,
yeah, and it just
Right, mind feeds on what it
it hypnotizes.
It's essential.
no, that was a joke.
Yeah, well, it's
That
essential
was a joke.
computer, man, that all these kids are tapped into, man. That they all, because if you really talk to some of these young kids, it seems like they all got the same thought process.
Come
you
on.
know, they being corrupted by the social media, and they buying into it, man.
So
Go ahead.
where do we go from here? Because like when we see that, because I'm hearing it and I'm seeing it, and mental health is real. Like I got I got daughters. I got a son. Matter of fact, my son didn't been to therapy. My daughters, my oldest didn't go to therapy, but probably should have went or could have, needed to go. My middle child went to therapy, and my youngest child is about to go to therapy. And what I'm finding is, and I don't want to sound insensitive to therapy, but it's almost as if what I'm seeing is a correlation between the information that they're receiving through the media, and I'm seeing this mental health challenge. And when I talk to different ones who have daughters, I'm dealing with daughters because the guys have daughters dealing with the same mental challenges, it's the same issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a part. I got one guy who his daughter is a cutter.
Right.
She cuts herself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I came home one day and my daughter was watching this show of a girl burning herself whenever she got into trouble. And I mean, it was a series and she was stuck in it like it was Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, was binge watching it and was mesmerized by this show. And it was so disturbing to me because I'm trying to ask her, what is it about this show that you like? And then she was like, Dad, it's just a great show. Because the teenager who was burning herself was dealing with the same school type issues or social issues that they're dealing with now. And I believe, to Bob's point, or to even your point, it's a systematic push to infiltrate the minds of our young. And when you use the mental health card, then how do you even choose? Says you got to be hard. You got to have consequences for your actions. You got to have response. You got to be responsible for your actions. But how do you take that and balance that with this mental health card? That's where I want to go with this now.
Right, but let's get back to the systemic implementation of this ideology. And they changed it from being psychologically, having been a psychological disorder, homosexuality. But we all have to agree, if God gave you an organ, made you a man or a woman, and just because you've been influenced by whatever reason, whether it's a mother or a father, to be a little more masculine, a little more feminine, regardless of your race, it gets to a point where you say, I want to change my sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's a psychological disorder.
Mm-hmm.
God gave you a penis, and you get so, and society is making everything so acceptable that you starting to feel now that it's okay if I want to cut my penis off and get a slit. That's a psychological disorder, but they changed it. So systemically, they trying to make it acceptable because they changed the classification from a psychological disorder to not. But clearly it is. And we've been bombarded with all of this sickness and with all of this forced acceptability forced on it so that more people can pull away from God and the natural order and start falling for the plan of the enemy.
Can you take being canceled?
Yes.
For that statement?
Yes.
Well,
I agree with
yes.
you, but can you take
That's
being
right,
canceled?
and I will. Matter of fact, one of the reasons why I'm not a retired NFL superstar was my stand up for what I believe in. And when you're a person who stand up for what you believe in, especially if it goes against society, the leaders' push and power, they will cancel you. I'm a witness that a lot of the media people we see on TV was planted on purpose because they're going to serve master. Excuse my language. They're going to serve the people at the top and do exactly what they want, speak exactly what they want. Mm-hmm. And the minute somebody speak against it, cancel culture. It's conditioning.
Yeah.
So they train.
But let me say this, because this been opening up a whole lot of doors.
It sure is. Go
Yes,
ahead.
it is.
But I gotta use you, and don't take it the wrong way, Rick. Could RJ come to you at his age and tell you he no longer want to be he want his penis cut off?
At his age,
At his age right now.
Domino.
No.
And that's why I don't understand when parents allow a child that's 12, 13 years old to say, this way. No. Your mindset at that age, you ain't
Right.
even, you not even mature enough.
Let's go to
Your
Dwayne
brain
Wade.
ain't
Lord
developed.
have
Your
mercy.
brain ain't developed
I
enough.
think
Right.
we're giving these kids too many options and not enough standards.
That's why,
Right.
man.
Wait, hold on. Fargo
Fargo
just hit something.
just do a
He
left
came
and
out.
right.
He came back on us. He came out the corner. Say that again, Fargo.
I think we're giving these children too many options and not enough standards.
Too many options and not enough standards.
Right.
Talk to me.
Back
Elaborate.
in the day, a lot of things that when we were coming up, just think about when we
Some
in the
stuff ain't
70s.
honest.
Well, now you had to wear gym shoes in the wintertime. Your parents don't allow you to wear gym shoes in the wintertime. During the wintertime, you had to have boots and shoes.
They had some order.
They
Some
had order.
structure and
You couldn't
order.
leave your house with your head matches like that. You better go upstairs and do that. I don't care. I'm the parent, you the child. This is what I want you out here to do, like, not,
That's what I'm saying. That hard love cannot disappear, but we have to make some adjustments.
Some standards.
So if you start adjusting, then you get to throwing things off. So now you're giving them options.
Well, that's part of the plan.
I know that's part of the plan.
To take like
I'll say it again.
the way we raised our kids, for one. And we're gonna be specific, because we're gonna talk about emasculation of the black man. We
Right.
ain't talking about
Because
everybody else, we talking about us.
hold your thought.
that's what
It's just
I'm
so
talking
on your thought.
Mhm.
On his thought. I was telling you about the girls that was my buddy his daughter's cutting herself.
Okay.
They had to put her in a home. And he told me in that home is a whole bunch of girls doing the same thing.
Yep.
He said they all are black and brown.
Wow.
No whites, no Hispanics. Everyone in that home was black and brown. Go ahead, Rick. Continue on. Let Rick finish up.
Well, like they wanted to take the parents out of the home. They wanted to change the structure of the way we used to raise our kids, and they got it in the school system. You're not allowed to discipline your kids anymore.
Nope.
Like
That's where it started.
you disciplining your child
You can
in
go to
public, you can get locked up.
Yeah.
Whereas when I be out, and my mom told me distinctly, when I went to the store, don't touch nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask for nothing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the store, asked my mom something, my mom slapped me.
Right.
In the store,
Right.
nobody cared.
Right.
She looking like a good parent. Yeah,
Mhm.
check that little punk.
Now,
I bet you she told him not
Hold
to
on,
touch
hold
it.
on. Let her finish his stuff.
And now she didn't have to tell me no more about not touching things.
Right.
Now, in the way this society is set up, we used to get disciplined at school.
Mm-hmm.
Every shop teacher at Simeon had the authority to put that strap to you. We had a disciplinary teacher.
Osby.
piggybacking off this.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off that, that's why we in some of the worst times that we've ever seen right now. Why? The minute you talk about you can't discipline a child anymore, that's the first discipline a child is the first chance that a child gets to realize there's repercussions and consequences.
Yeah.
So whenever you take that away, now they free to do everything, free to explore. So you can't even influence them to go down the path of being righteous and showing love and being productive, because there's no repercussion and consequences. The first sign is gone.
And here's something I want to share with that. Here's the correlation to that in as far as media and mental health. A child sees all of this on social media about, well, if you hit a child, the parent can get in trouble. And you try to whoop one of these kids, you could beat them, but you got to know they know its consequences
Yes, for your
if they choose to go that route. Because then they hitting you with, why did you, what you know?
Right.
Child can be
Yeah.
cheap, but you can't do
Right.
that.
Now
Now
that
there's
you,
consequences for me trying to teach them order.
yeah.
and
So
structure.
now I got to get
Yeah,
locked
we
up
wonder
because
why
I'm,
there's no order.
man, my wife, I told y'all, Mel, she's sweet on the outside. My wife, my oldest daughter, said something. She was out of pocket at church. My wife would beat her so good in church. I had to stop her. I say, hold on, that's my baby.
Right.
Don't kill her in church, you know. And the thing is, I never had my oldest daughter, we had them issues no more. But now we at a place, my oldest daughter 30, my youngest is 17. So now we at a place where this one, my wife has to walk away and get out the house because if she do it, this one here, because she didn't got.
Mm-hmm.
But now her getting got is she goes into this mental
Right.
escapade,
Right.
not to discount that mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want nobody to feel like mental health is not real. Because I'm certified PTSD driven, right? And I think we all are. Grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
But
But yours come from the military.
mine, I see, yeah. So I got a
I'm
real,
from the streets too.
I got a real PTSD. But my point is, and where I'm going with this is that you go to discipline a child now they using, not that they using it, but then they go into this anxiety mode, this why are you beating me mode, this ain't fair mode, all of this because of somebody said it. I don't know who I think Donnell, you said it about they're exposed to all this information and it's causing and it's really not allowing them to be parented the way that they need to be parented. Any thoughts on that?
But let me touch on something because you was talking about your friend. My daughter did the same thing. She was a cutter.
Mm.
And what I did, we sent her, we got her counseling. She was going through something. She was dealing with her mother and her father going separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I guess she was using that. It's that cutting part is serious.
Yes.
But it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't to the point where she had to go live in a home. It just had to be monitored big time. You had to pull your sleeve up. And but she got through it through grace of God. You know, she's doing better in life right now. But because had I known you, I would have asked her to even speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you said,
I would love to get her on that.
and the thing is, the thing about it is, like you were saying when you was in advertising, what we saying here, and that's why I take this serious.
Yes.
Because it's helping somebody.
Yeah.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't care if it's just happened to it. It's on YouTube and we got 6,000 followers. If it's happened to 2 people out of that 6,000, we did a good job.
Made progress.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Might be helping us.
Absolutely.
Oh, it is.
It starts with us. Like real stuff.
Mental illness and all of that, I know is real. But it's more so now because of the authority's been taken away from the parents. All of us, every one of us, was hyperactive disorder. As a 2, 3, 4 years old, you had to get your butt spanked to curb some of that stuff back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you can't start curbing, it's just better for the child. You know what I mean? But if there's no repercussions, no consequences, there's nothing to psychologically deter you from advancing some of the situations we find ourselves in. But I agree that some of these disorders we have comes from the environment, it comes from different stimuli from being in the house, or since God made us all different, we receive things different than other people. Some of that stuff is true, but some of the stuff got escalated because on the boys, little bad boy side, because there wasn't no discipline, there wasn't no order early on.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that, even the young men today being raised in a space of how they're disciplined. Because they're being raised in, if the world is being disciplined in this, and I don't want to call it soft, but it's a feministic manner where it's verbal as opposed to not sparing the rod.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, and I think Rick said that you pull the father out of the house. We have to.
They did that.
I know we
that
have to
escalate the problem,
and we have to we got to come up with some. It has to be. I know we need therapy. And
We need
but
resources in our
but
community.
I think Bob, you said something
Mhm.
earlier. In one we did 2 shows today. Bob said something in the other show about understanding. When we understand what we're dealing with, then now we have to be able to come up with some type of solution or path that someone can follow for help.
Let me just say this: when you put the subject matter out there, the first thing I thought about is all of the women that I know that are single mothers raising young black men. And my main objective was to address that issue and for all of us to give some helpful feedback to them during this session that may help them raise a productive young black man.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to go around the table on that, because what I see is the relationship between a mother and a son, even the mothers that strong black women.
Yeah.
I'm about to
It
light
be
a fire.
kinda you know better than doing this with him, because it's really not gonna help him.
I'm gonna light a fire.
Light it. What's it on me?
Some of you women out there, I'm about to light a fire.
That's your camera right there, G. Right there.
Problem. One of the it's many contributing factors. We all play a factor.
Yes, we do.
But our women getting more power is escalating and making a lot of these situations worse. As men, when you have a son that's a little feminine, we gonna come up and shake his hand like, no, bro, you shake like this, you do that. And the woman getting in the way, no, if he wanna be something like that, it's okay. Some of our women are the problem.
Let's throw it out there.
It's many. It wouldn't be all of this LGBT stuff escalated so much if these women didn't have so much influence where they're acting like it's okay if he want to be gay. And I grew up like that. I mean, I got kids. And some of my kids may have did something that wasn't right at a certain age, or their friends was doing something that wasn't right. And I would show them how to be a man. And this is what men do to deter some of that behavior that can lead to some of this stuff that escalates, because women be like, no, it's okay for him to be like. Women accept, they love different, and they accept too much and tolerate too much instead of guiding and directing firmly in the way that it should be, causing a lot of these problems.
Yes, but
When it comes to homosexuality,
no,
when it comes to homosexuality, I promise you, these women are too tolerant. Men aren't. More women are way too tolerant. Men aren't. And since they way too tolerant, they got so much influence. This thing that blew up.
Well, the new men are more tolerant. But the guys, like, in our era,
Yeah.
like, I come home sometime, man. My wife, she have a lot of friends, man. A lot of times, be a bunch of females around the crib.
Mm-hmm.
I had to grab my son a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey, man, don't be hanging around your mom and her friends.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when you see her and a bunch of women together, you go upstairs, man, and go find you something to do. Go play some ball.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, because if you sitting up around a bunch of women all the time, man,
you're
going to pick up some of the tendencies.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You don't need to be sitting up under a bunch of women.
That's what I was
Now, when the guys are around, I welcome my son to come around and see how guys move,
Right.
and see how we operate and how we communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that talk with your son.
Absolutely.
It's too many of these new type of fathers who will sit there and allow their woman to put barrettes and braids in their boy's hair and all this crazy stuff, man.
Right.
And beads and all this stuff. My son not wearing no beads. My son not wearing no barrettes in his hair.
I feel you.
It's certain things, man, that we have to take upon ourselves to talk to our young men and navigate the way they move and the way they operate.
Let's take some responsibility as a man.
Yeah.
If we do our job, then we're going to be there to ensure that some of the women can't be as tolerant. We're going to flex our opinion, because God needs us both. We need the woman's love, they need our love.
Yeah.
Statistics show that when a man is not in the house, the kids' fare better when there's a man present.
Well, that's why I
So
said
we have to be present, and we have to use our presence and use our influence. When you take our influence out, they don't fare as well. That's the statistics.
All right, so hold on real quick. So, because one of the things I want to share real quick, and I want to get into, I want to let's make sure that like women don't know they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think no woman is raising a child to be gay on purpose, not on purpose.
That's
right. And so I think if they don't know, they don't know. But I also think that we gotta make sure that when we're addressing it, we could tell you, like we could talk about Dwayne Wade all day.
What do you think Gabrielle Union is raising that kid to be over there?
Listen,
there's exceptions to every rule.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that we could talk about it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with being all right. So let's just put it on the table. I don't believe in homosexuality. That's not nothing I believe in. I'm a man of faith, a man of God. I'm not going to ever kick nobody to the curb about being gay. But I'll tell them, just like I think Rick brought it up, I like women. And having majority or more than one woman was okay to me. But because I understand the consequences of doing that, having more than one woman, I choose to have one wife because I want to live a certain life, a certain moral lifestyle. Just because I see a woman and she's looking good, don't mean I'm gonna go try to holler at the woman because she looks good or because I like her, because my hormones or my testosterone is jumping around. I'm going to restrain from that because it's not right. And I believe that's the same with homosexuality.
Well, like he was touching on when he was talking about the powers that be, the people who are in control. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that are homosexuals.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So we go back. I mean, you can go back in history, man, as far as you want to, man. Even like the Roman soldiers, and
absolutely,
and the Greeks,
absolutely,
and the, like 300. They only use women to make soldiers for pleasure. They like little boys,
right?
You look at the Roman Catholics. This is not like when you see these little incidents on TV about these Catholic priests having these situations with these little boys. This is something that's been going on for centuries.
Right.
Facts.
This ain't nothing. This is in their DNA.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's being pushed on a mass scale.
But to your point, that's why it's in the. That's why it's in the Bible. It ain't in the Bible because they wasn't doing it. So we talking over 2,000 years ago. They've been doing this since matter of fact, Sodom and Gomorrah was way before that.
Right.
So they've been doing that a long time. I get that.
But our culture, what they did was like a process. First we're gonna take the men out the house. We're gonna take God out of school.
Right.
We're gonna take discipline out of the situation. And now we can
control.
We can control information. It was a process.
And more people.
This wasn't no overnight thing.
Absolutely.
They always wanted us to buy into their agenda, but they had to go by the steps.
And the dominoes are falling in place.
Now, since you've taken God, discipline, Father out of the situation, now you got anarchy. It's like any civilization.
Absolutely.
When they take away, like Haiti right now, they don't have a president. They don't have any rules. Everybody just running the streets wild. No consequence. We killing each other, going crazy over in Haiti. Our people.
Yeah.
Because there's no structure.
Right.
And that's the same thing they doing to us right here.
And that's where it all stops.
They when you take the structure out the house.
Take the structure.
Yeah. You take the head out.
And so just to bring that full circle, what's the reason for that? So why would you want to create anarchy among a people?
No, it's Satan's army.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so
to the scriptures,
now
Satan was kicked out with a third of the angels.
I get that, G. So everything that where there's a spiritual aspect, there's a natural aspect. So from a natural perspective, there's a purpose.
Misery loves company.
Well, no, the purpose is because that's their agenda.
Misery loves company.
So here's what I'll share, and that was
and they promote agenda.
that was
Misery
more
loves
that was
company.
more of a rhetorical
Okay.
question. So one of the reasons why all of this is happening, I believe, is because if they can, and it's why the black man is so key to all of this, because we're going to become the majority people on the earth. And if we become the majority people on the earth, we can take the power that run the earth.
Yeah.
And see, that's what they're trying to control.
That's
because
true, too.
and so
what's rightfully ours anyway.
which is rightfully, I mean, I'm a people person, but we were in power at one point, world power at one point, and no longer are we world power as a people, as a black race. And I'm talking Haitian, African,
Right.
I'm talking black people, period. We were in power at one time. But I believe that that's what this whole thing is about. And so when we understand that, then now we understand where our enemy is coming from and why it's coming after us.
Now, I agree
But
with
go.
you. I agree with you, and that is a major concern. But at the same time, if you recondition our thoughts, once we do come back and get the power,
Come on.
we've been reconditioned
Yes,
to not use the power in the way in which God intended for us to use it in the beginning.
absolutely.
So as these generations keep going on and we being conditioned, and that's what they're doing with mass media manipulation and everything, can recondition us. So if the ones, even if they're concerned about fear of the black planet, like Public Enemy used to say, if they was concerned about that, that's one thing. But if you still control their minds, like we got black leaders right now. I'm sure some of y'all heard about the boule and all of that. Some black leaders they put in positions that's still going to do the other person's job. Whatever the powers that be still want them to do. So what good is having black leaders if they program is messed up? And that's why it's so important to understand we being programmed right now. And we need to get that relationship with something greater than this program. We all need that.
Absolutely. And I agree, and to your point, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But at the same time, we have all of the issues. We understand we're being programmed media wise, but we still wanted to talk about our children being raised in this society that's causing another generation. Because now, when you say anarchy, they think that's why they can't get in a handle on the killings. Killings ain't just happening in Chicago.
Right. No.
These killings is all over the country because it is an anarchy, right? So our children are being raised in this anarchy. Like if you really look at it. So what as parents, Shu said something. He said
Men gotta step back up.
Single parents. And
good quality God-fearing men have to come back and do their job against all odds. That's one of the only things, that's one of the first things that's going to help turn this around. Everybody that's watching right now, we need the men to come back. And that's what God is calling us to do. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves, if the men do this, then will they hear from heaven, then will he hear our land. Dudes and Dominoes is about men having conversations. And I love the women. I say this, they got more power as part of the fault. But I promise you that the men have to come back home.
And not only do they have
good men.
And that's good. Give it up for G. That's a good one. But watch this though. Even as the men come back, we have to see. This is why marriage and family is so key.
Right.
Marriage and family is so key, and it's so key because Shu said something, and I know the men, we definitely have to get into a place of where we have to say we're not just living for ourselves no longer.
Absolutely.
Right? I get that, G. But I also believe that our women need so much help.
Absolutely.
They gotta also have a wherewithal to know that they can't do it. And so they're so protective.
That's right. That's right.
And it's and they have to be. You got to be protective when a young man who was a good young kid is just going to a house I think he was going to pick up his sister and he gets killed.
Right.
Just gets shot up.
Yeah.
This is the society we living in.
Mm-hmm.
This is why women don't give their children over to men readily.
Right.
This is why women ain't just saying, here, could you help me with my son? But to your point, G, as men, I think that, so in help, we need help.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
We need help with raising our children.
Without a doubt. Man, I have to say this and clear this up.
Go.
Man, the women, y'all beautiful. Man, we nothing without y'all. We need y'all. So don't think just because I'm saying that y'all having so much power is not helping this situation because of your sensitivity. Don't think that means that we don't value y'all, we don't need y'all. Y'all invaluable. Y'all everything.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But we got to learn to work together, and we need to do it with God's order.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So help us out in that, Rick. What you got with that? As far as being able, where we are, we see our kids growing up in anarchy. And we as men got daughters cutting themselves, and we got daughters burning themselves. We got daughters who are just mentally in a place of anxiety. We got sons who are mentally in a place of anxiety, but they can't tell their father, because if they tell their father, then their father gonna give them what a man to give him. So he go to his mom, and now he's stuck on his mom's breast. And we in that society. That's the reality of where we are.
Yeah. Well, first off, man, I appreciate you sharing it. Because a lot of people probably wouldn't have discussed that.
My thing about sharing it was to touch somebody else out there that might.
Yeah.
Come on.
That takes a lot of strength to be that open about it, man. That's a good thing. And we can't help nobody if we don't talk about certain things. But as far as the society, not only have they like the media and the judicial system, and they've taken the men away. And now the second part of it, they've taught our women to devalue themselves.
Come on.
They make it look like it's all right with the music and the things that the way these young guys are programmed now. Our strong black women never get a chance to come about, because they start out. They could have started out, man, as a baby. From the time they born, they the descendants of queens and kings.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
We the one that take their value away.
Come on.
The men with the advent of the media adding into it, that's a part of it. The music, every rap song, man, is about, it's not about love no more. It's about sex.
Right.
Everything is switched over from love to sex.
Right.
You just say, man, go ahead and get it, man, and slap me. It's about being. I watched one video, man. My son talking about this cat dude named T Grizzly. It's rap dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the video, man. I'm watching those young rap video. This brother, man, put a pillow over this chick head and shot her. This is what these kids are seeing.
Come.
I'm watching this. I'm like, what the hell is that? What kind of message is that sending?
And somebody allowed it to be sent.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But watch this, though. But watch this. That's traumatic, dog.
Exactly.
So think about what they're seeing. They're seeing traumatic stuff all day, every single day. So
and
when
you
they
wonder why there's a psychological
exactly. So that's why I say there's a correlation. And so I'm glad you got to that, because that's the correlation. When they having that, and they don't know that's what they're dealing with. So they're literally dealing with traumatic stress because they're seeing it every day. Watching the fights every day. Watch everybody that watched George Floyd get choked to death. Mm-hmm. How many times you see that when you just was walking around? You just could see that man, like right now, you could see it, him on the back of his neck, and that man crying out for his mama. That is trauma that they put over mass media. And man, there was times when they wouldn't even show anything over media like that. When Janet Jackson showed her breast, they was going crazy.
Well, when they feed it to you, if you see trauma enough times, it becomes the norm.
It's called desensitization.
Exactly. You get desensitized to a traumatic situation.
Yes.
And accept it as the norm.
But that's what but see, they want you. But I don't. But see, that's the you can't get desensitized to a situation when you see it. What happens is you may hear the gunshots and you may not move like you used to, but a new situation is going to create by scientific fact. Once your brain experiences trauma, it's stuck right there, and there's no fixing that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But that goes why on TV they allow you to see certain things on TV because they want you to let you know it's okay. They want you to become a norm. When you see two men on TV kissing, it's a commercial. Why we need to see that on a commercial?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Why we? You know, it used to be once upon a time you would never see a black man and a white woman on TV together.
Come on, except
Now
on
you
the
see it.
except on the news.
Yeah, it's new. So and like you say, the media is pushing that. So that when they push it, they try to make it say it's okay. We're gonna accept this. Everybody, we go kumbaya and we're gonna be good with this.
So I still want folks to leave away from here because we about offended. I want us to leave away from here with a thought that because like man, I'm telling you, I'm dealing with with children who need mental help, right? And as a father, and I'm in their life every day. Mm-hmm. I talk to my kids and give them all I got.
Right. Yeah.
And I still end up like, Lord, I need some more.
Yeah.
And that's me being there every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine the ones who not.
Mm-hmm.
Shub asked the question. He said, these women, these single parents need some help raising these kids, these sons especially.
Hey, man, love is my mantra.
Come on.
Love is my mantra. So we have to educate ourselves, and then we have to love our children. You know, love is power. Educate ourselves, because then we can go back to what I talk about, getting understanding. Educate ourselves and love our children. Educate ourselves and love our women, in despite of us having different perspectives and different viewpoints and vantage points.
So, G, what does love look like? What does that look like?
Love is compassion. Love is enduring. Love is patient.
Come on.
Love is long suffering.
Come
we
on.
have to weather storms with it.
Come on.
Love is just supportive.
Come on.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Come on.
We have to.
So love is not you saying I love you, is what you're getting at.
No.
Love is an action.
Yeah, love is action.
Talk to me, Shooby-Doo.
One of the most basic things that I see every day, being out in the streets of Chicago, working in Inglewood, in the neighborhood, we set the tone. When I get out of my car and park it in the CTA parking lot, and I walk towards a group of people, black people, older women, black men our age, children, good afternoon.
Right.
They see the uniform.
You setting the tone.
This is something that used to happen.
Right.
This is something simple as that. I'm not concerned about their feedback or return, but set the tone. Something simple as that. I'm a grown man. I can walk through a group of black people of all ages, whatever. Hey, good afternoon, y'all.
That's
and not be. If I get some feedback, I get some feedback. If I don't, I don't. And most of the time, in that group, and then a young black man see you do that.
Yes.
This is what you're supposed to do. You set the tone.
Come on, boy.
Amen.
Give it up for that, man. That's love. That's good. That's good. Mr. Passionate, talk to us. Go ahead, Rick.
I just think we need to we got to continue to communicate with our children. Sometimes we have to, even if we have to get on their level, we have to communicate, we have to pray with them, and we just have to let them know, I'm here for you no matter what.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we hoping and praying that when kids do certain things, it's just a phase, but I want to go through this with you.
Yeah.
I'm here with you. That's what you got to do. As a mother, as a father, some of these fathers is not in these children's life, but then if you got a single parent and it's the mother, you have to be there, right there. Take that child to church. That child need to see some men that's in their lives, even if it's at church, if it's at school or whatever. That person needs to be around positive influence people, especially men.
Amen. That's what's up. Give it up for that. I like that. I like that.
We can't throw our young guys away, man.
Come on.
So, you know, we not just talking about our kids, man. You know, it's a whole. We have a responsibility, man, for every young black man that we might come in contact with.
Yes, we do.
So you see one of these young cats out here, man, might be gang banging, man, might be high. The thing that might help him to straighten his life out and turn it around, just to have a positive male role model, just embrace it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, little man, you know, I see what you're doing, man. I went down the road, man. You know, let me holler at you, man. You know, that little interaction, man. Instead of everybody, you know, we sit up here, we get our lives together, we move on, we start doing good in life, and we just start, you know, we be in our little bubble. We take care of mine.
Right.
You know,
Ours
are straight. You know,
my
kids are right. You know, now they might need me way more than mine do. You know, right? They might not have a father in their life.
Man.
So, you know, just don't throw our young guys away, man. You know, just don't give up on them. Just don't look at them, man, just because of their current situation, man. You don't know what that guy could be, man. Because a lot of people threw me away when I was young. I was wilding out. You know, people look at me now, they don't realize the dude I used to be.
Right.
You know, because like I said, it's part of my self-evaluation process. I had to change some things. So nobody reached out to me. You know, I seen a lot of people that were doing good, man, walk right past me, man, because, you know, I had my French braids, had on a white beard, had a joint in my ear, and, you know, we just don't give our kids away, man.
Right.
Try to reach out and talk to these young bucks, man. They need you.
Yeah.
You know, they looking for it.
They are.
They thirsty
Yeah, they
for it.
need
The guy with the braids and the joint, the white
they-
beater, say something positive to them that's going to inspire.
They thirsty for it, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, give it up for that. That's good stuff. Now look, Rick said something that actually, he said something about his old man when his old man passed that helped me with understand my old man. He said my old man was a father to the community in the sense that other people needed him more than he did.
Sure.
That he had to share his old man. And it blessed me so that as a father, I've always, you know, done that, but it gave me clarity that it's okay for us to share ourselves with other young men and the men of this community. Right?
Yeah.
Come on, give God some praise.
Yeah.
All right, Fargizzle, before we get to Hollywood.
I can top anything anybody said. Everybody's on point. You know, Rick takes a village to raise children. I didn't know about his father, which is true. We can go back Christian Park days. There was a lot of black men. 95th Street had black businesses. They had a black strong men. They had baseball teams. They came and got these young black men, took them either fishing, get a haircut. If they seen these women that didn't have a father in life, there was a man in the community that helped raise that child.
Come on.
Reached out to that mother and kept them on the straight and narrow. You better not see Mr. Johnson, better not catch you doing nothing wrong, you know, all of that. And that's what we got to get back to. Get back to the original playbook. Get back to the Bible. Let's break this structure down and rebuild, and we become stronger.
That's love, boy. Fargo came back hard, boy. And he, all right, Hollywood G took off the glasses. He got back into the.
Oh, I thought I had mine already. When I said we got to spread love, man, we got to just continue loving. That's just the most important. We need God in our life. We need a relationship with something greater than us. You ain't living. None of us was living till we realized God's influence over our life. We was just existing. Once we realize that, you start living. And once we get that, we need to be guided by that.
Yes.
And he's going to lead us to do whatever we need to do to help all of us. Because he didn't put us on this earth by ourselves. So we all supposed to do something. We all the salt of the earth. We all got something to give. We all got something to add. Yeah. And that's why you said set the tone. Yes, I'm riding with that.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's what's up.
About a village. I'm riding with that.
Man.
Hey, look, man, that's what's up, man. Give it up real quick.
That's right.
Hey, Hey, this was a real serious topic, man. Listen, if you need some help, again, just what you do is just hit us in our inbox us at Dudes and Dominoes, and hit us on our Instagram, hit us on our Facebook or YouTube, wherever you want to hit us at. Hit us, and I promise you we'll get you some help, especially if you got a young man or you got a young child that needs some help. Our kids are in therapy. We put our children in therapy. We believe in therapy. We believe in getting help. And so if we can't do it individually, we'll definitely reach out and corporately make sure that you get the help that you need. Dudes and Dominoes, we'll see you guys next time. Look, you know what we're doing here. We're promoting thought. We're provoking thought. We're promoting action. And most of all, we're promoting love. Let's keep it going, in and out. Dudes and Dominoes, one more time. Give it up. Hey, we out of here. Love y'all. One.
I'm Andre Lazar, welcome to Dudes and Dominoes. Y'all know what it is. Let's go!